still retired conductor of the Dayton Philharmonic Orchestra with another piano bench chat for spring. Happy spring. I hope it's spring where you are. Spring is definitely here in Southwest Ohio, hence the short-sleeved shirt and the short pants. This piano bench chat is in celebration of the piano bench. A few days ago, or a couple of weeks ago, my wife decided the piano bench had gotten very wobbly, and she took out the wood glue and the clamps and a yoga strap, and over a couple of days of gluing and clamping and strapping, she returned the piano bench to an unwobbly state, and it is quite wonderful. I can wail away at the piano and not wobble too much at all. I was wailing away there at the beginning of the Symphony Number 11 by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, written in July 1770 in Bologna, Italy, when Mozart was 14 years old. Yes, he was 14 and he was already writing Symphony Number 11. As part of my retirement, almost every day I spend some time at the piano, playing through some Bach and playing sight readings and piano music, and usually I end up with a movement of right now Mozart, trying to keep my score reading at the piano skills up. Now, score reading at the piano is a valuable skill, or semi-valuable skill for a conductor. But it's a skill that you have to keep practicing. It's a skill of not just playing, because you know, if you've watched these things, how well, and you just heard how well I play the piano, but it's about reading what's on the page and figuring out how to play as much of it as you can, given the piano technique that you have. By definition, almost every pianist is incapable of really recreating the sound of the orchestra at the piano, but through sort of subterfuge and smoke and mirrors, we do what we can. One of the tenets is, whenever possible, you should double the bass line, which is why Mozart did write that all those repeated Ds where the viola's here, the cello's here, and the bass is here. But it's also helps you to make a lot of noise. You can make more of a sort of orchestral sound to give the impression that you're playing something big. But even so, you can't play everything. In the middle of that, between this and what the violins are doing on top, the oboes and horns in Mozart's orchestra are playing this. Yeah, this is right. Yes. Well, I would have to have 2 hands for that, and 1 hand for this, and what I'd need 4 hands in order to try and do all of that. So you leave out what you can't play, you try to give the best impression that you can, and you just keep on going. Now, I said it's a semi-useful skill for a conductor, or a semi-retired conductor like me, because in reality, there's never a time when you need to play an orchestral piece at the piano. As a conductor, sometimes if you want to study a piece that you've never seen before, you sit down at the piano and you sort of bang your way through it to get a sense of the sound in your ear. But usually most conductors can do that, if they're well trained, just by looking at the music. In some cases, when the music gets more complicated, it helps to have the piano as a crutch. The one place where playing a score from the piano really is a valuable technique is if you're working with a soloist, and the soloist comes in and you're going to do a rehearsal just with you at the piano accompanying the soloist. Of course, you could hire a pianist to play along and then you conduct, but it's not the same. It's actually easier to play at the piano as the conductor and listen to and follow the soloist. And again, you do what you can, you give the best impression you can of the orchestral sound, but you're really there to follow what the soloist is doing and to learn what they're doing so you can accompany them well with the orchestra. Here's a little example from several years ago. It was still as we're coming out of the pandemic, hence you'll see masks on our faces. Dayton Philharmonic principal clarinetist John Kurokawa was here. I was here on the piano bench. He was here in my living room working on Rena Esmail's clarinet concerto, which we were preparing to perform with the Dayton Philharmonic. And Rena was, I think, in Los Angeles at home. We were on Zoom, and that's why you'll see all three of us. And John and I were playing through the piece for Rena so that we could get her basically a coaching session on her, make sure we were doing it the right way. So here's a little bit of a real life case of playing an orchestral score at the piano. And that's it for today. I hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you are. And again, from time to time, especially now that I have this sturdy piano bench to sit on, I will continue to put some videos up from time to time. But for now, I'm going to go back to Mozart. Take care. Have a wonderful spring.